Greetings, people. Welcome to Primal Sports Center. I'm your host, Froggy, and I'm here with
Ken the Schwab Watson, and again to our listeners out there, you know what time it is? Time for Primal Sports Center.
our listeners out there in Fit FM, Primal 4K app. Listeners out there as well.
Facebook, YouTube,
World Wide Web. As well, they'll say we are back with another episode and another session, another jam-packed show. We have a lot of basketball, and during the week we had that football game that everybody has been discussing.
I wouldn't say a lot of basketball because we're down to the final lap of the NBA season where we have a mouth-watering finals that is competitive and going down to the wire. We, the hosts, had OKC winning easily, but Pacers putting up a fight. And again, as you said, we have a lot of football to talk about because not only the World Cup qualification is beaming around the corner, we have the CONCACAF Gold Cup coming up this week as well. And I mean, to me, that will be valid preparation,
pre-rehearsal,
not for us, but to see how our opponents look. Because some people have it that it's a cakewalk for us, but for me, I think it will be harder than some think. Some would think. And World Cup is something that we definitely look forward to, a 48-team World Cup, which it would be a travesty to not make this World Cup based on not only that we are Jamaica, but the type of players we have and our opponents are coming up against. But the ball is round. Everybody wants to qualify, but I mean, we have a lot of football to talk about. And at the midway point, we have the controversial boss.
Peter himself.
I don't know what him come with, if it's some jiu-jitsu or some Miss World or Vibes Cartel. I didn't come through it last week again, I forget it. But how do I scrap it up? I have to go look back at last week's episode. I know our episodes post on YouTube after the show, so if you miss it or tell a friend that you should check out that Primal show. It was a blast because some people will view it and some people who might have missed it. You can watch it back on YouTube. I mean, because I myself watch a couple shows and I'll be like, hey, I mean, I know what to say, So I mean, Dale isn't in studio today, but
he will join us live.
To run the road. And even so, we're leaving next week to go to the Caribbean Senior Championships, and we'll do the show next week from Barbados, tuning in. Peter and Froggy will run it from the headquarters at the desk. But I'll try to chime in and let you know what's going down there in Bimland.
What is it called? Table tennis what? Caribbean Championship?
Caribbean Regional Championships.
Tell us about it now.
I mean, it's running from the June 17th to the 22nd, I think, at the Garfield Sobers Gymnasium, where the best table tennis players in this region will go and compete and, wave the flag high. I mean, the top teams in the region are the Spanish-speaking ones, Cuba, Denmark, Puerto Rico, but, English-speaking looking to make noise, especially Jamaica, led by yours truly.
Kane Watson.
Kane the Sharp Watson. I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but...
Who are the other members of the team?
I mean, I've been doing this for a while, so now coming from a junior rank player now to... I mean, I would call myself the youngest veteran. I've learned a lot from, the likes of Peter Moore Young and Chris Marsh, Colin McNish, Michael Hyatt. I mean, I'll probably leave off a few days, but you know yourselves. I mean, big up. So it's my time now to lead charge and just want to go out there and do my best.
So who are the members of the other team? The other team members?
Team members, it's a shortened team based on
the
funding.
financial constraints.
Young Aziz Johnson, a top junior. Another veteran, Paulton Madden, will be going on the team to represent the male team. So we're looking forward to that. And the coach is
Dale Parham himself.
None other than Dale. I tell you, so the Primal team would be out. So I mean, that's coming up in the week. So we have a lot of team tennis to look forward to and to talk about.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so we bring that to you live on direct next week. Cool. And for kick things off for this week's show, we're going to start, Froggy.
Start from the BVI in Jamaica. No?
Start with football?
Football.
Start with football.
I want to start with the basketball.
He's a football man, so we start with football.
So we're going to start with the BVI game. Finish 1-0 Jamaica. Pretty scrappy at first. Everybody complained about the field, and Rudolph Speed at one point said that some of the players didn't want to play.
And I know the public probably was saying that only score one goal against BVI. I think it was Cayman Islands and Honduras finished 1-0 as well. Yeah. Away match. Some of these away matches can be tricky. Teams tend to play down to their level. And I mean, we wanted a higher score line, but all in all, we got 3 points. We qualified for the next group, and we're looking forward to the Guatemala match at home. But before we get to the Guatemala match, BVI match, as I said, wasn't something
pretty.
to even talk about or write home.
It wasn't pretty.
Winning 1-0 on a not so good pitch, away fixture with the potent quality that we have in our side, I would probably grade it a 2 out of 10. Just that, a 2 out of 10, just because we actually got the 3 points. A win is a win. And you want to develop that momentum and develop that habit of winning, even if you have a bad match. Because you can play down to a level or play a weaker opponent, and you can have bad days. But on those bad days, and I said with the smaller opponents, you still need to get that vital 3 points. So that's why I give it a 2 out of 10 instead of a negative score. So, how much you give it?
So you give it 2 out of 10 because of the 1 goal and then 1 for the performance?
No, because of the 3 points. Because of the 3 points. Who scored the 1 goal again? John Russell, yeah. Come on, yeah. It was a poor performance, but I said,
poor.
I think winning is vital and it gets us momentum, and I think that led to the Guatemala match and the performance of the Guatemala match. If that match had finished 0-0 or 1-0, I think the performance against Guatemala would have been poor. Because I myself have played tournaments where I've had bad matches and I was supposed to lose, and I eat my way through, and I'm like, okay, it's not time for my next match. I'm back to my normal self where here I'm making crazy shots. Sometimes, as I said, you have that bad match, and then you go through to the next one, and then hey, you're back to that level again. So
I'll give it the same 2. I was really disappointed.
Very disappointed
with the performance. Well, I was disappointed from the starting lineup, and from I saw Damien Lowe in that midfield, I was like, "This is BVI. Why are you playing defensive? Why you have 5 defenders? Go out there and attack. Show intent." But again, a lot of the players didn't want to play. The field was really horrible. And I'm not going to blame the field because a lot of persons keep blaming the field. Both teams are going to be playing on the same surface. Yeah. And we have to develop the habit of knowing that it's not going to be perfect. The fields are not going to be perfect. And the players need to develop that habit of saying, hey, we have to go out there and do what we have to do. Just try our best, pass the ball around, let the ball do the work in conditions like these. Yeah. You don't try to overpower the ball. Let the ball do the work. And I think that's the problem with that BVI game. They wanted to do too much on a surface that wasn't going to give them that amount. So I guess at some point when they realize that this is not going to work out, they just try to get that one goal, and they try to just settle the game, try to just move the ball around and settle for the 1-0, because going out there, it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, I was surprised you don't call for the coach head after that performance, because I know you like to fire coaches, You want everybody out,
Well, I wanted him out from a long time.
Yeah.
And I still want him out. Yeah. But
at this point in time, no change.
We can't change.
A lot of football coming around the corner. And the 2 matches played in quick succession. One away, one at home, one at the office. And both victories. And I see positives.
I think persons were really disappointed with the BVI performance because of what happened during the Unity Cup.
Yeah.
And
I didn't put much emphasis on the Unity Cup, but we saw positives.
We saw, and then we come 2 great positive results, and then we come to the BVI game.
Winning is a habit.
We just fault in the BVI game. And
I was Unity Cup will be Trinidad 3-2, and we draw 2-2 with Nigeria and lost on penalty kicks. Yeah.
So, and then coming back to the BVI game, and it's not just, because for me, it's not about the results. It's more of the performance, because if you continue giving positive performances, the wins will come. Yeah. But if you go negative, you're going to struggle. I want the performances. I want them to get in the habit of performing. And that was my biggest problem with the Jamaica team. We weren't performing. We were getting wins, but we were just not performing. Yeah. Now, I saw a performance in the Unity Cup, as bad as it may be, come down to the level of BVI, and then you just drop off. You're like, was it a fluke?
Yes. Flip-flop. One minute up, the next minute.
They're down, and that's what
happened. And I said, based on the opponent too as well, if it was a big team we're playing against, then you'd be like, that opponent is tough. But BVI is not a tricky opponent. And I said, you'll have matches like those where we play down to 11. I hope the team and the members learn from this. But looking ahead, we don't have any easier fixture coming up.
Yeah, and
the CONCACAF Gold Cup is right around the corner. And then right after that, September, October, November window is where we're going to know
What is what?
What is at stake? Because World Cup is next year, and we see teams qualifying for World Cup already.
Yeah, and even with the qualifiers after we leave BVI, we came back to Guatemala.
Yeah, how much Guatemala?
Feeling in the stadium was electric. Persons were there, were chanting.
I'm sorry, I wasn't. I was watching the match on television. I had something to do.
It was really
make the match, but you and Peter was there.
Yeah, it was. It's a really.
Tell me about the atmosphere in the stadium.
The atmosphere was buzzing, man. Yeah. I think we need to do something about the timing of these games. It's 6 o'clock and it's not working out.
I think it should be at 7.
8:30. Yeah. We need to get the crowds in the stadium. This 6 o'clock thing
after work and
you have to work and
the traffic. Go home. Yeah, and
the traffic too. It's 8 o'clock game.
8 o'clock game.
And you'll get the stadium full. If you're not getting an 8 o'clock game, give us a 2 o'clock like back in the days. Yeah. On a Sunday.
2 o'clock on a
2
Sunday.
o'clock on a Sunday. Yeah. But 8 o'clock, we need the crowd to come out.
When at 2 o'clock,
World Cup qualifiers. But the crowd was there. It wasn't a bumper crowd, but it was there. The atmosphere was there. They created a vibe for the players, and I guess the starting of the game, we started out flat. The first shot was taken by Guatemala, and I guess right after that, we saw where the team started to say, "Hey, we need to not joke around and they lift up the tempo." Good performance by Liam Bailey. He tried to do too much, I think, at times, but a good enough performance by him. Good assist. Damari Gray playing through the middle as a number 10. Seems like that will be his role. Him and Bobby Reed will be fighting for that role because the ever-present Cephas on that left-hand side is...
And Warner Brown.
Creating problems, and boy,
Warner Brown.
I'm not going to say about Warner Brown yet.
Hungry.
Because
Warner Brown seems to be the man of the moment.
I don't know where Mikel Antonio going to fit in this team right now.
He's coming off injury. I mean, he lit his stride, but...
And Bowser.
That's probably want to have in the side. And that would make these players even hungrier.
And with
you get the opportunity to play, you are going to want to have that output where the coach is like, hey, you have a tricky decision, you know. And Warner Brown is making a tricky decision.
4 in 5, you know.
Because he is scoring and the others weren't.
4 in 5.
So if them get a nod in, you have to perform.
And he's
so as I said, Shamar Nicholson, Mikel Antonio, and that's probably want to have in the side where you have strikers looking to score. And right now, Warner Brown is the man, and Warner Brown is going. Well, I'm not saying going to, but should start.
Well,
yeah.
He's starting now, and that is the greatest thing, and we're scoring.
Yeah.
The midfield of January.
Truly, when Jamaica on the score of penalties or dead ball situations.
All right, one goal, as Peter was saying.
But who's scoring?
Yeah.
Warner Brown, I mean, maybe that saving night when it comes to all these important matches around the country.
Yeah, but as John Russell has said to in an interview that he's like Warner Brown just came out of nowhere and just come in the team, fit in the team, and he's just doing things that other players weren't doing. He's bustling, he's dropping back because during the game you see him coming as far as the centre circle, coming back, allowing the wingers to take that space. Then he's darting forward. He's giving everything out there.
Playing good.
Cephas is down there assisting.
If you're not performing, you have to go come on. Liam Bailey, you have to go come on.
I don't know.
As I said, that's what you want in the side.
Yeah, and then I think for me, as I said, it's a good performance.
I don't want a man feel like, oh, him just walk coming inside. Although a man do that already still. So, but that's a different conversation for a different day. But this is why you want to see players are hungry
and
go
young.
out there and fight.
The thing is, they're young, so they want to prove themselves.
Yeah. And so Richard King playing Unity Cup had some good matches.
Yeah, and even in the qualifiers, he played well as well in the qualifiers. So coming on in the second half for Mason Holgate, who picked up a little knock and put down a performance beside Damian Lowe. Amari Bell was great on the left hand side.
Warner Brown plays 60, 70 minutes, and Ashamar Nicholson or Mikel Antonio come on for the last 20 minutes. They have to come on and be like, hey, my spot, you know. I need to score now. Or not even score, but play with that impetus where the coach say, hey, man, I have to give you more time.
Yeah.
Or, I have to try to get 30 minutes now. Or you're back in the starting lineup right now. But Warner Brown
is doing it.
Solidify him starting spot now with these performances.
And if you see a
person, it's not only scoring goals, you know. As I said, that fight on the field, the play, and the other players feed off that.
He's
that
linking up the
energy.
plays. Yeah.
And the crowd, I saw it on TV, the crowd let them love it, and the reaction.
The crowd love it,
Where's
man.
him homegrown?
Jungle is in.
All right then.
So everybody come, the whole entire jungle is down.
And they say, I mean,
You need these players in the team.
That spirit in the team, just like the '98 World Cup. I mean, you feel attached to the team where,
have to
you
play.
know, sometimes out there, it feel like the team segregated. Like, all right, them money apart,
even in training.
Man, one unit, man. And the more they play matches, and the more they get used to each other. And I mean, looking further, so with these string of Gold Cup matches coming up, the first one again Guatemala the 16th, 20th we play Guadeloupe, and 24th we play Panama, and then the quarterfinals after that. Cause we should come out to the group. And these string of matches, I said, we're gonna be on Primal commenting on these matches, and we'll look forward to watching these matches. And
but I have to say something about that Guatemala game in the stadium, and I'm not going to knock them too much, or not the team, or not the coach. The performance was good. It was one of the best performances in a long while, and the best one since the Cuba game. But there's something I have to say, and I want persons might beat me on this one and say I'm being negative, but I'm not going to look at it.
Which persons?
Everybody.
Are you a negative person?
No, I'm not a negative, but
I was pointing out the negatives.
persons are
I
happy.
would say Drake said the negatives make a better picture.
But persons are looking at the performance and the fan perspective, and they're happy and thing. But I'm going to take it a step further. I'm going to look at it on a more analytical level, and a more analytical level. The Guatemala game, for me, it reminded me of the Cuba game, where Cuba gave us the ball and we look good when they have nothing to offer. And this Guatemala team really and truly, they came to us with nothing really. They have nothing to play for.
So basically you're saying Guatemala are good. So
no,
they
didn't really have nothing to play for. They already qualified for the final round of the World Cup qualifiers. So even
so it wasn't a dog fight from Guatemala.
No. So they came just.
But even so, you have to just for position and
part one. They see right. Even if they had won, they wouldn't have been in part one because part one would have been based on your FIFA ranking.
Okay.
So it don't matter what happened in that game.
So they was playing out.
They were going out there to play and don't get no injuries or anything.
Well, we'll see again on the 16th if they're going to come out like that.
Exactly. So I keep telling person that I'm not going to look at that Guatemala game. I am looking at the Gold Cup.
This Guatemala game coming up.
Yes. This is what persons are fighting for now.
16th is on Monday.
16th is Monday. So this is where I can start judging this Jamaica team. Because I'm not going to look at performance is good in the qualifiers. Yes, we won 3-0, which is what we want to see. But I want to see them
scoring goals. Yeah.
I want to see them competitively performing. Can you duplicate that performance this time around? And then
at least you have something to duplicate. I mean, if we were going off the BVI performance, we'd be like, hey, we don't want to duplicate that.
Yeah.
But I said, Liam Bailey had a good game, which, I mean, we can't tell last one said that. I mean, Warner Brown is on the hunt.
Have we ever said that?
I mean, the midfield, as I said, it was one of our better performances in recent times. And wanting to duplicate this now is the main focus. And the thing is, we do have to wait long. And so with more matches and more cohesion in the team, we don't have to wait long. So right around the corner is Gold Cup, and I think this is perfect for the team, perfect for the coach to get in these stringer matches. And we're going to look. We know the meat of the matter. September, October, November window, where we'll have 6 matches home and away. And let us talk about the group now for the World Cup qualifying. We're in a group with Bermuda, El Salvador, and Curacao.
What El Salvador?
Everybody.
Bermuda, Trinidad,
Bermuda, and Curacao. And I think that is a favorable group. I mean, to avoid the Central American,
which is what we've been saying the entire time. We need to avoid them.
No, we're going to get Central American refs, or not Central American, Spanish speaking refs. And that's something that I always find peculiar, whereby
when we're playing
in FIFA windows, or we're playing competitive matches,
always a Spanish ref.
Why we using Latinos referees?
Especially
why not get refs from Egypt or
Europe?
Europe, other side of the world, and these set of refs go to the next side of the world and play. But you can't have Spanish refs ref in a game where Jamaica versus Guatemala, Jamaica versus El Salvador. No, but as I said, that's a different point. But we will be in a group, as I said, with Bermuda, Curacao, and Trinidad. And I think it can be a tricky group, but it's a favorable group. And everybody want to qualify, everybody want to go through. Winner these groups, because it's in 3 groups.
We not automatically
qualify for the World Cup. And so we have 6 matches, and I think that if we don't qualify, it will be heartbreaking for the nation. And we don't say this to put pressure on the reggae boys, but I mean, we can't want it no better than this.
Oh, it's probably one of the best groups that we are in, but as I've always been saying, taper the expectation.
No, we're not tapering no expectation.
This is why I say, remember, my stance was that I don't want.
We for qualify for.
We should. We should. With the team, and we should.
The level of players that we have that playing in top leagues around the world and the quality. Not to knock on Bermuda, not to knock on Trinidad, not to knock on Curacao. I mean, Bermuda have 65,000 people.
They can have.
Curacao have 150,000 people.
You can. You're looking at their population, but they are importing players.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is.
Who for grandfather was here.
They're all importing players.
Even so, Curacao to me will be the tricky team in the group.
It's 5 Curacao get 18.
5-1.
5 love.
5 love. Yeah. And
5-1.
5-1. And if you look at Curacao, they played the 4 matches. They won the 4 matches. They scored 15 goals and conceded 2. And I said, winning is a habit. And teams like that would develop momentum.
And it's a lot of.
And even they're playing in the Gold Cup. So we'll have a chance to
see them as
view
well.
them and watch them as well. And make our adjustments because they're well coached by Dick Advocat. And
they have a lot of Dutch players in their team.
He's a 3-time, he used to coach Netherlands team on 3 different occasions. Coach Russia, South Africa, I mean many clubs in Netherlands, in Germany, all across Europe. So he is a well-known coach, top coach, and as I said, a lot of Curacao players have Dutch connection.
Yes, Dutch connection. A lot of
Dutch colony. You know, the ABC, and so I don't want, as I said, because they're smart and we're going to overpower them.
Exactly.
We don't take anything for granted, and I think it will be a tricky time.
As I hear patients talking about it, soup, and I keep saying, listen, soup.
When soup out, you have to blow up on it.
All right, that's what I keep saying. Better.
Soup burn up your mouth,
So, I think our first game is against Bermuda, and
the draw is out?
Yeah, man, the first game is against Bermuda, then we have Trinidad, Curacao is the last, and then reverse.
And it's good to get wins right away. So, I mean, I want to win the first 4 or 5 matches.
People saying
4 matches, and then mathematically them can't pass don't qualify.
For me, still, I mean, being honest, I think these home matches we need maximum 9.
Yeah, man, obviously
9 in the national stadium.
I say, on the bad days, we're gonna have days,
because the pitches, Bermuda, Trinidad.
Yeah.
Well, I can do it by team.
Peter can tell you when he go and play table tennis and say him go a Central American country. Then they make it easy for you,
Not even like you sleep in the night.
Then they make it easy for you. Yeah, I was saying officiating, places where you stay. But although that was back in the day, but even so, you got Curacao, you probably supposed to land 9:55. You're supposed to wait. They make you wait for about half an hour more.
Yeah.
As I say, you go Trinidad and
they're gonna make it hostile. They're
food
gonna
and so
everything to make
the environment not gonna be friendly. I mean,
and
we need to take care of business at home and traveling to these places. As I said, maximum points. Bermuda, take nothing for granted. Score goals. Might come down to goal difference. I said,
I said it to somebody the other day. Said, this group might just come down to goal difference if we don't be careful.
Hey,
we need those 9 points in the national series.
I think we're capable of winning all 6 matches.
Capable, but everybody's saying
we are the
points.
top team in the group.
But when I look at it, and I analyze, we don't know what Bermuda will come with. I think Bermuda
so
probably
these teams probably saying, "Oh, I'm glad we get
they're
Panama,
saying the
Costa
same
Rica."
thing. Yeah, they're saying the same thing.
Get Jamaica, because Jamaica shake.
I hear everybody saying because it's weird that I hear Trinidad saying they love the group, Bermuda saying they love the group, Curacao saying they love the group.
We're going to show
something not right.
We're going to show
How can my opponents love the same group that I love and I'm superior to them?
The other groups are Panama, El Salvador, Guatemala, Suriname. Panama,
Yeah,
top
we have
team.
Panama.
Next group is Costa Rica, Honduras, Haiti, Nicaragua.
Zone
Another
of
tricky group, that is.
So now that.
But I have Costa Rica. I mean, but hey, let them battle it out.
Group of that,
We
man.
are focusing on our group because we want to qualify for our cup. And I
See,
said it's
The
going
most
to be tricky. I don't think it's going to be as easy as
Because
people view it.
it's not going to be. Because when I look at it, if I
But
break it down,
when
man,
you look at the other groups, we get the most favorable group.
yeah, well, yeah, we avoid the Central American team, and we basically get a rival in Trinidad, which we know we have played them probably 6 times in the last year and a half.
And we don't lose any matches. Yeah.
We haven't lost, but we haven't dominated, and that's my fear. And going down to Trinidad, you know that they're going to create.
I prefer playing Trinidad and Nicaragua. Or El Salvador.
But we all prefer that.
I prefer that.
But they're going to come at us, and they're recruiting as well.
Soca Warriors versus Reggae Boys. I like my chances there.
QSO is recruiting as well, so
Big up my 3 people, but you know, war.
it's going to be because them want to wide, you know,
Yeah,
and they want to qualify, you know.
Ball around.
I don't keep everybody is fighting to qualify, so
And even so, it could be a case where you have 8 teams from this region playing in the World Cup because 3 already qualified from being host, Canada, Mexico, USA. Then we're going to have the 3 group winners, and then the 2 best teams going to go into a playoff to try and qualify again for the World Cup. We don't want to go that route. We just want to win.
win. So that's why I said
it is
these
possible that 8 teams
18s on the Caribbean for the CONCACAF
from the
region.
CONCACAF region can qualify for the World Cup. Because it's going to be a loaded World Cup, 48 teams, which I think is way too much. But hey, FIFA try to spread the love, I guess. I don't think football can get any bigger than how it is. Football is the world sport.
Probably they're
Every
gonna
country in the world
have
play football.
a tier 2, tier 1, tier 2 World Cup.
No, man.
What do you mean?
Water down the thing, man. Yeah.
Tier 1, tier 2 World
I
Cup.
water down the thing. One World Cup, man. One cup. As I said, you know, Messi going to be back-to-back winner, but that's a different story.
I don't know where you get that from.
I told you probably 4 years ago, I'm back, but tell you, let's go play the next World Cup.
Well, you can say Ronaldo just won another Nations League.
No, Nation League's a joking. What was it? I think Thomas Muller said only 2 teams take Nations Cup serious.
Who?
Muller said, a German player. He said only 2 teams take it serious, which are Portugal and Netherlands. You know why?
They don't win anything.
Because they never win World Cup yet. So they feed them like a curry goat trophy.
Spain took it serious too. Don't tell me that. Probably because Germany never win a Nations League. They can't win.
You play to win, but nobody now lose the sleep because you lose Nations.
Yeah, but as the World Cup, Gold Cup coming up.
Gold Cup group.
This is
our
where we
group
can...
in Gold Cup is Panama, Jamaica, Guatemala, Guadeloupe.
Yeah. And Panama, the 24th is a match that we need to look forward to. This is where we're going to see what is what. As I said, a lot of the teams are using the Gold Cup as preparation for the World Cup qualifiers. And
I mean, after June, July, August, September, it's right around the corner. September, right around the corner, we kick off things right off the bat. And then a lot of these players going to go back to their clubs.
And that's another thing I fear. Will they...
I mean, expect injuries, that's why we need a deep squad, because that's a part of sports. I'm not wishing any injuries on anybody, but you know, you'll have the occasional nickel here and there with key players, and that will affect every side. But once you're well coached and have a deep side, it should be our advantage in every match, because as I said, we have the players that will go out there and
do it. And do it. I saw a recent story, Richard King being linked to St. Mirren in the Scottish League. Say that the deal is basically done. So a few signatures left to be signed. Money look enough would have paid. After you collect at the Caribbean Cup, come collect again. Oh Lord, man. We can't stop Cavaliers. Are you just win JPL, collect again? I hear that rumors going around that he's thinking about the national coaching job. I don't want that road.
No,
people always hear
things said for now with the coach and going work. We are work with the system now, and
so far
it's going to be tricky. But hey, how much is it? What are the odds after 10 to make a qualifiers? You said we're not going now. You clear.
Yeah, you said we're not going.
So what do you think now? Out of
70%.
70%.
Yeah, man.
And you voted not?
No,
70 is bigger than 3.
No,
so
70%.
we don't going.
No, but he's no, so he's changing.
Yeah,
Oh,
because we say we'll get a soup.
you say problem with wagon is, you know.
Better soup.
You never know what they may chant to, you know.
No, I said, me say we're not going. You must forgive me so much.
Yeah,
I'm being
70%.
honest.
For a wagon,
Honest, 70%.
it's a winning percentage. Yes.
Yeah, 70%.
So you're the on the wagon.
No, I'm not the pan wagon.
So but 70 is pass.
But I'm not on the wagon.
I give it 90%.
I think
No, I'm not-
he's
too much.
he's firmly on the wagon.
Yeah, but I mean,
But even when I said Jamaica not going, I said if they continue doing what the things they're doing, we're not going to World Cup. And I see the changes.
no.
I've seen the changes. I've seen the team looking like a team that's starting to get the players that they want. John Newson and Isaac Hayden look as if they are the steel in the midfield now. Bobby Reed is to come back in. Latibody is back.
Yeah,
back
but
down
Blackberry
in the
was playing
defense.
high up,
Yeah.
which now he's
And
he's
when I
further.
look at what we had last year,
What position Damian Lowe playing now? I saw him on the field at some point.
he's playing.
You saw him, right?
He's playing centre back. The system that the coach was using is more like 4 at the back, 3 in the middle, and 4-2-1. But he kind of changed it as he go along and play a 3 at the back and push up Latibody as a wing back. And Marabel around there and slide them out. And then
Everybody is a
farm.
workhorse. And
Yeah,
I don't mind him breaking up plays up the pitch or ahead of the 18
passing
back,
was the
so,
problem.
Yeah, him only can pass from A to B.
And he's in the team as a backup right back as well. Because a lot of persons don't know that Lati is really a centre back and a right back that can play defensive midfield. So the team is looking like a team now. We still have Lewis Baker to come in. No word on Mason Greenwood just yet.
The ship moving
Right
without
now,
this
Tom,
place.
I look at it
The ship is sailing.
after this Gold
If
Cup.
Mason Greenwood, I don't know what taking so long without.
No, after the Gold Cup, I don't want to see him again. You know. When the Gold Cup done, you know. This is the squad going forward, you
But
know.
him not in the team, so.
And I don't want when, if Jamaica qualify for the World Cup, you see everybody start jumping now. All these British players say they want to play.
No.
The British
Warner
are
Brown we
Jamaican.
work with. Who we
Warner
work with?
Brown.
Warner Brown we work
And
with.
Cephas.
Warner, you say?
The
Warner-
jugglers up front.
Yeah,
Dixon.
Time Dixon on the
Yeah.
bench or
Spoke like a true wagonist. True wagonist.
all right, people reach midway point. It's time for sports commentary with the controversial boss himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We want to hear what people think about sports commentary. Please call us 615-433-5674. I'm hoping that our overseas producer will put the number on the screen for people to see. So let me repeat it again. Repeat again. Yeah, there's a repeat again. 615-433-5674. We're going to talk about lawn tennis. I'm not going to get into the argument whether I hear some people saying that Sinner is a clone of Djokovic. Sinner is not a clone of Djokovic. Doesn't look anything like Djokovic. Doesn't play anything like Djokovic, as far as I'm concerned. But it's a talk that going on now, you know. They're calling him a Djokovic clone. He's not really a Djokovic clone. Different style, different approach, different philosophy. They couldn't be further from each other, in my opinion. But when I talk about tennis, I want to talk about the French Open men's singles finals. Said to be the greatest
One off.
pro finals of all time. Maybe 5 or 6 hours worth of tennis. The exchanges were high quality. I thought, Ken. Not a lot of errors, you know, unlike the women's finals, which I'm going to discuss. But not a lot of errors. And the guys were going for broke. I don't think tennis could have a better showcase, maybe Wimbledon, than that French Open final. And congratulations to Carlos Alcaraz, because at 2 sets down, and maybe Sinner was serving for the match, if my memory serves me right. The kid fought back against a man who is physically, I don't know where that man get that strength from. Maybe he's from Clembuterol or so, closer ball. I don't remember what it named. But he certainly, it was a epic singles final. Epic. Somewhat less epic though was the women's finals. Irina Sabalenka, the best player in the world, to me. Well, certainly from the tournaments, the best player in the world. Because Swiatek, I had predicted that the winner would have come from the Swiatek Sabalenka semi-final. Let's be fair.
Most people.
Let's be fair.
The book is even higher.
But the fact is that Sabalenka played horribly, and she made 69 unforced errors in a 3-set match. This is not no 5-set match, you know. The women play less sets, even though they get the same amount of money as the men. But which is another travesty, but let's move on. Sabalenka, afterwards, after losing to Coco. She was up by the first set and looking dominant. I saw some people, Keith Garvey talking you, post that it's all over, bar the shouting. And Coco Goff came back and 1-1. 1-1 point, 1-1 Coco filled the basket and was able to win. So that was good on her. She showed a lot of resoluteness. Is that even a word? But the big controversy now is that people are saying that Sabalenka was less than gracious in her comments. It's all over the internet. They might even have AI saying racial stuff, you know? I don't know why they hate for Sabalenka though, because to be honest with you, real champions really do hate to lose. And if you push a mic in front of a man, if you ask Kane Watson what happened after recent games, he's not going to be too cheerful, you know? No, a real champion is upset that he played badly. And he's going to say things that are less than diplomatic. So Sabalenka said something less than diplomatic. The breeze was killing me, and I less than graciously. It's not really my opponent, didn't do not the greatest me at all and all that. And that is not really great sportsmanship. But at the same time, I must admit, I do the same thing when I lose. Sometimes I vex. Yeah. And then I say, it's bare net point, Kane Watson win. Kane, come on.
I don't even say sorry.
I don't even say sorry. So I think people being a bit harsh on Sabalenka because people who play tennis know, or table tennis know, that you feel vexed when you lose. If anything, don't put a mic in my face at that point. You know, and that's really the thing. But, you know, I think it's a good thing because I really want to know what people think. And no one know what Sabalenka thinks. Yeah. And table tennis, we're not trying in sports to be friends and happy. People want to see rivalries. We really want to know that Sabalenka doesn't really care much for Coco. Because next time they play, we'll pick a side, don't? Yeah. And so it is. That's what makes sports interesting. In the days of table tennis, when there was a rivalry between Joseph Dibbs and another player, me, the crowds used to divide up. Kane, I don't know if you remember those days. You had the people who came to cheer for me and the people who came to cheer for Dibbs and so on. And later on, when Simon Tomlinson and Kane Watson became the dominant players, because the two guys were friends, great friends too. Yeah. That rivalry was not there. They were brothers. That rivalry was not there. But it put more fans in the seats when hatred is palpable. You know what I mean? Yeah. But allow it out. Now I want to talk about unforced errors because I have here the national champion of table tennis. And he's supposed to know, just like me, that many unforced errors are actually forced, you know. Unforced errors is a very ungracious term because the quality, when Kane faces a quality opponent, he makes more unforced errors than when he plays a low-grade opponent. That's a fact. And the fact is that when you play against a man like who's near the table and getting ready to pick your pocket and all this kind of thing, you make unforced errors because they're tighter margins, right? So for Sabalenka to say it's unforced errors, remember that Coco is prowling. Coco is keeping that ball going. Coco is at a higher level and therefore your own unforced errors go up. Achusa? That's what was happening. So I remember one time people were saying that Ma Lin, Chinese player, had the best serve in the world. But it's not that the man had the best serve in the world, you know. He had the best follow-up attack. So when that man's serving, you have to be so careful, right? Because he would punish anything loose. Christopher Marsh was not a good server in table tennis, but people couldn't be careless when they returned to him because he was very good at punishing the third ball. Kane knows that too. You make more unforced errors when the opponent is more of a threat. Now, good news. I was at the stadium along with many members of Primal Sports to watch Jamaica play against Guatemala. And I'm here to pronounce, to my eyes, this was the very best performance by a Jamaica team that I've ever seen. It might sound over the top, but it's the best me ever see Jamaica play. I saw still weak in the midfield, right? But I saw hungry strikers, right? I saw a competent defense. And guess what I saw now? I saw a new star emerge, Warner Brown, right? I think that one of the goals was Floops. But I think that
Poachers go.
he's a poacher. So poachers will score those goals. And anybody who's a great poacher will score those goals, but you have to have that hunger. And I think you're hungrier if you're hanging out in jungle in a one bedroom in jungle. Dan, if you're in a flat in London, I think you're a little hungrier.
Dubai.
Or you're in a flat in
Saudi,
Dubai.
Saudi.
I think you're a little bit more hungry. But let me move on. Leon Bailey looked hungry in this match. And whoever want to criticize Leon, and I'm not a fan. I've never been a fan of Leon. But it's the best I've seen Leon Bailey play in a Jamaican shirt or even in an Aston Villa shirt. He may have played better in one of them German shirts, you know. But it's the best I've seen Leon Bailey. Leon Bailey took on opponents. He was disruptive. He cut in. He crossed the ball. The first goal was a header from a Leon Bailey cross because Leon Bailey looked like a man on a mission, right? It was the best performance I've ever seen Leon Bailey. Congrats for doing some work at last, brethren. And finally, you know, justifying some of his backers. But just one small criticism. If I give him 9 out of 10, I'm going to take a mark. Leon Bailey cannot take a penalty to save his life. I said it before. Leon Bailey should not be taking penalties. Not even in a penalty kick. It should be a shootout. Should he be taking a kick? There's a simple reason for it. He doesn't have the nerve or temperament to take penalties. I used to take penalties from my hall when I was on my football team at university. And the reason is I'm a calculating dude, right? You can't side foot a penalty. Leon Bailey takes us 3 steps to the ball and side foot. That's a golf putt. No, if you're driving the ball low, drive it low. Learn how to be above the ball when you're striking. The guy from thing that missed a penalty in the match before, Cavaliers, Atkinson, and he was leaning back. Who teach these guys football, right? So Leon Bailey need to drive the penalty or don't take a penalty at all because this little side foot is not going to work. And if you come in at too wide an angle, you can't go either way. The keeper must be in doubt as to where you're going. The placement of the non-striking foot gives away where the ball is going, you know. If you put the non-striking foot parallel, you can only go this way. If you put the non-striking foot, you have to put the non-striking foot in line to strike. I learned this as a goalkeeper. At high school, I was a goalkeeper too. You look for clues.
And you took penalties as well.
I did, because it's so easy to score penalties. But Leon, man, work on a little party game, man. Now in table tennis, I couldn't leave table tennis out. The big match of the day was the Chinese Super League this week. And the world #1, Lin Shidong, played, his nickname is Little Fan. And guess who the man buck up in the Chinese Super League? Big Fan. Fan Zhendong played Lin Shidong, the world #1, the world rank #1 versus the real #1. And as you would know, it was an epic match. Standard was probably not there because Fan is just coming back from retirement. And Fan dominated the game. In fact, he dominated the whole league. He played 8 or 7 matches and won them all. And the funny thing is that he already beat the world #1. And then the world champion, Wang Chuqin, is on the same team as the world #4, Liang Jinkun. And both men declined to play against Fan Zhendong. Wang Chuqin said his blood sugar was low, and the other guy said he was sick. Nobody wanted to play against Fan Zhendong. It's a bit like sometimes when the great white is playing well. That's a private internal thing. No, I made a prediction. I'm going to wrap up very quickly on Primal last week, and people want to know how did I do. I predicted a result for UFC 316. Sean O'Malley fought against Devalishvili, and I had predicted that Valishvili would have choked him out and that's exactly what happened. When you're in the fight game long enough, or the table tennis game, it's not just prediction, it's science. You know what I mean? It's sports science. That's what we do. And that's why we're Primal. You have the Schwab here, but when it comes to fighting, there's only one true prognosticator, right? When it comes to think the results. So the people who made bets on Primal, one person called me and thanked me. So I will point that out. Who made bets? Enjoy the money, eh? And on to the next fight. Now I want to know something. The police scan your license plate without probable cause in America? Because in Jamaica, the police are scanning your plate and stopping you. Now, my reading of the law is that they're not supposed to can do that, you know. they're supposed to have a reason to stop you other than the fact that they scanned your plate. And I'm going to be checking with some legal help on this one. I think it's idle for the police to be riding around and then scanning people's license plate and tell them that them vehicle. You can only stop me if you suspect that there's a crime about to be committed or a crime was committed. That is how law works in America. I don't know what is happening in Jamaica. I get stopped by the police way too often. The police stop me too often. I have to be walking around with a bag of change to take care of things. And the final thing is condolences to everybody in India. There's a song that the plane just crashed. Well, this plane really just crashed, and the landing gear appeared not to have come in when the plane took off. I hear that the maintenance record on the Indian airline is not so good. People say that about half of the planes of India are down because of lack of maintenance. And it's a shame when 340 people.
There's one person survived.
One man survived. The plane crashed and everybody died and one man walk off
out.
the plane. It's amazing. He was sitting in seat 11A, just so you know. And it's now a big thing that there was a Philippine movie star who crashed in a plane 10 years ago. He was in the very same seat 11A. I don't know what that means, but everybody's wanting to book 11A. To me, if the plane crashing, I'm not booking at all. But that's just me. That's sports commentary. What say you? Hey, listen, the number to call, 615-433-5674. That's sports commentary.
All right. Controversial boss himself. Yeah, people do call in. We'd like to hear from you and give us your sporting take, whether it's in your neck of the woods or something missed out. Lawn tennis.
So come on, guys. Wasn't this the best Leon Bailey performance you have seen?
Yeah.
All right.
One of you.
I don't think
I want to
any
tell you,
other.
there's a joke, you know. The goalie made 2 critical saves that people don't realize, you know. In the first 5 or 6 minutes, they got a point blank. And the Andre Blake is probably the only keeper who could have saved that ball. You saw that save, Kane?
Yeah.
It's a great save.
A big keeper.
And then,
The last one.
in the last part of the game, they also got another shot on goal. And Blake is really a stalwart, a top man.
One of the best keepers
Yeah,
in the CONCACAF.
shot stopper. That's him.
Before we touch the basketball, Racers Grand Prix last week, yeah.
Top performer for me, Brian Level.
Yeah, 19.74.
Yeah, that's
1970.
it's not half of Jamaica go below 20.
But I mean,
Yeah,
just
for
the
now.
way he
Execute.
conducted
What was the
himself
win?
is
2.5.
Okay. 2.4. They say it would be like probably at 19.9.
And it was a positive win.
A positive
Positive
2.4. So it's not.
So it was pushing him.
Yeah. But even so, he came off the corner first, and I mean, the powerful down the
Is that
street.
his personal best?
I mean,
If it's legal.
He doesn't count anymore,
it
but
doesn't count, but it
he
would have
normally
been,
do sub 20.
he has been below sub 20 last year.
Congratulations.
Coached
We need
by
some 200-meter people in
Shaquille
Jamaica.
Osborne,
We need some 200-meter people in Jamaica.
So that, to me, he was a top performer. I mean, Kishan Thompson 988 looked, I mean, impressive.
And I saw the replay look like him grunt at the end. I don't know. Like he was trying to.
He
push.
tried to dip, but he don't have the dipping technique yet, you know.
He's working on it.
Him is, to me, he's more like a wacky dip. You know, he's a circular dip. It's not a real dip.
Earning 9.8 now is good.
But does he have a dip yet, though? I think it
No,
could
he
be
don't have a dip.
9.7 or 9.6 with a proper dip.
Dip-
Yes. Or do like Tyson Gate, throw yourself across the line. And Noah Lyles do the same thing. Noah Lyles don't really have a dip, you know.
with the time,
Noah
but
Lyles
every-
throws himself at
Every
the...
race you can throw yourself across the line.
To me, it's a technique.
Unless you have to learn that technique.
Yeah.
You have to practice it.
Tina did well as well. In 100 and Jacko in the 200. Easy going. Things
And
still a look heavy.
later this month is the national trials.
Trials.
Yeah.
But the question is,
The last
what
weekend
did Jacko not run the 100?
No, on the
Why?
200. I think she's more focused because I think she have a buy
For the 200.
for the
So
200.
she probably only be competing in the 100
Everything
national
needs
trials.
yeah. So
Oh, so she's saving the 100 for the national trials.
yeah. So she just need to get some 200 times in now to better the 100 times.
Does anybody remember Elaine?
Ilian?
Yeah.
Ilian is still in Florida training.
So
You'll be surprised.
Isn't she going to
on the
run at
trials.
some point? Is she going to run
I'm
at some
wondering if
point?
she's going to run the
Trials.
trials.
Huh?
You'll
Probably
see her at the
next year
trials.
Probably
Is next year's trial she going to run?
You're going to see her at trials.
Which trials you will see?
You will see her at
But
trials.
it's amazing, though, because we haven't seen Noah Lyles yet either, right?
No, we've seen one glimpse of Shakari.
Let's talk about Noah Lyles for a second, though.
He's busy modeling.
I know. I see him in a TikTok and Instagram. But and that Jamaican girl is she now a full-time model? She still compete?
I don't know, you know.
Jonelle is her name, right?
General Bloomfield.
They threatened her in Jamaica.
But yeah, I haven't seen him run either. I don't know what's going on with him. And Shakari look like she's hiding as well.
Kind of strange to be.
It's.
But I see Trayvon have the fastest time in the world now.
I guess they're saving their time for the trials or closer to the trials.
You can only run one, huh? Is that how it works?
No, you can run both.
No, for the trials, I mean, you can't do it in the meet before.
You've gone in a meet before, you know.
Did you hear that Michael Johnson Grand Slam has been cancelled?
Yeah, at last minute.
It was always going to be a money loser, you know.
The
Track and field is not as big as people think, you know.
I've been saying that a long time.
It was always going to be a
It's
loser.
not as big, and the amount of money that
He's paying
I
too
like the
much.
idea, though.
Yeah, but
is good.
the format is paying too much.
That's what always been my issue. And the thing about it is we quarreled the first time when I said 3 days is too long. He put it down to 2. And even the final leg would have been 2 days as well.
The Jamaican girl that won the 100-meter prize, what's her name? She's a hurdler.
Akira Nugent.
She's really a hurdler, right?
Yeah, she's a hurdler. Top hurdler.
But she can run the 100
I
as
know,
well.
but
She
she
can
won
run
the 100 flat,
Yeah.
and she made 100,000,
She won 2 of the slams
and she made 100,000 each
Each
race.
time.
each time.
That's a lot of money, you know.
200,000 years.
Yeah, the gate is probably not even 200,000.
My guess is
Especially
that
for track and field.
because they were predicting to lose roughly $2 million if they had held the final leg. And that's too much money to be losing. And we're not talking about.
So
paying out
will
the
we see a
payout.
Grand Slam next year?
I hope, but I don't think the same format and the money payout will be.
It's a novelty format. I don't think it can last.
It can't because there's too much money being paid.
The Diamond League format is more sustainable.
Because there
for
are a
me.
lot of sponsors and
Yes.
they're not paying out a lot. And then they're using European stadiums because
There's a
European-
promise. It's a promise of a overall winner.
Remember with sports, you have to know your market,
Yeah,
America is not the market for track and field. It's more Europe.
yeah.
And
They're trying to broaden market.
I know
but it's tough. The American
tough
market
to-
is saturated with basketball and
Yeah.
NFL and baseball. Yeah. Even soccer don't even get much. It just getting the hype now.
So if the World Championships were run today, who would win the men's 100 meters?
Kishin Thompson.
Really?
Yeah.
Or what happened to Simbini and the little boy and?
As he keeps saying a little.
Was that Walaza?
No, yes.
Kishin would win.
Already, yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
We must say he lost by a millisecond, you know.
Lost by a
The,
dip.
the smallest of margins, you know.
He lost
I
by
feel
a
that
dip.
he'll come good this year. And it's gonna be a
Simbini
good-
has been very consistent, you know.
Simbini not even going to feature.
Oh, really?
I hope so.
I love form, you know. I don't.
But now is not the time to be of the farm. Later on, you want to see Zarnell use them step up out the grass and
Zarnell Hughes.
I'm just saying, when
Yeah.
championship time come, I mean,
The big dogs come out.
yeah. So,
All right.
The tennis. Do you think that because I've been saying it all along, I feel like Sinner choke,
No.
it
You're
was
not
high
giving
level.
you're not giving credit to Alcaraz.
Sinner choke.
Somebody's going to win. Any
Somebody
game.
has to win.
Yeah, it doesn't require choking is when you cut your level of performance because of tension. I define choking as that. I didn't see that in Sinner. I saw Sinner playing well and I saw Alcaraz playing well. And he got a couple of points that could have gone either way. That's how the game goes.
When I look at it, you can't be 2 sets up. All right, fine.
You can,
lost the
you
third-
can, you can.
lost the third set.
You can.
And I feel like you gave up the fourth set. To,
The other day I was
basically
playing an
be-
opponent and I won. It was 2-all and I was leading 10-6. You were there?
I think
10-6.
he was the opponent.
no, I was watching on the camera.
And I lost 6 straight points. It can happen.
choked.
Granted, there was a lot of luck. I didn't choke. There's a lot of luck for the other player. Bare nets and edges.
For me, 2 sets up, and you're serving for championship. You lost 5. Fourth set, feel like give up that one because you want to preserve yourself for the 5th set. But to be
Now, what are you talking
Hold on,
about?
but
Players don't give up sets.
You lose 2 sets.
You give up a set, brother?
I am saying you are up 3 championship points in
Yeah.
the final set.
Yeah.
You have to find something. If that was Nadal, if that was
Can't
Djokovic,
happen to anybody.
It could happen to
I feel
anybody,
like
trust me.
It's high level playing. I mean,
Sinner's coming in with like 20 game winning streak. Just beat
suppose
Djokovic
after just go
straight
for
set.
broke and
Never
make
drop a
shots
set.
that-
You
Yeah.
drop 1 set. The entire tournament each up one set, and that one set was the third set.
These
And
things
it
are
never
not
recovered.
reasoned out, brother. They are played out.
Those-
These things are played out.
the-
I
that-
don't think it showed. It was.
The man was hitting for the
I know,
lines.
they
They
were
were
playing
hitting
well.
for the lines.
A
Yeah.
back from Alcaraz that was
that
one
probably
for the
pushes moment,
ages.
pushes levels. To one.
Yes, and Sinner didn't back down either.
I think there was
Sinner
probably
fighting.
one long tie break in that match I saw, where it could have gone either way.
Like this.
And
came
then
down to a
and then
50 tie break.
Alcaraz had in the last tie break, Alcaraz probably went 7-love up,
Yeah.
6-love.
Several of them.
Yeah.
And lost.
And some of those points could have gone either way. It just happened to be 7-love.
Rough. Okay, NBA. Before we close out the show. Pacers, OKC. Locked at 2-0 now. I saw 2-2. Locked at 2-2. Pacers winning the first game. OKC coming back the second. Pacers winning the third. And I don't know what happened last night. Walk us through what happened. Because I
mean, it was a close match. OKC, to me, OKC have the better team per se, although Indiana is fighting hard to have a deeper bench. OKC have the bigger stars. Because, with Chet Holmgren and Jalen Williams backing up the MVP, Shea Gilchrist, to me, as a three-prong star team that should get the job done. But Indiana is playing, total team basketball and can get output from everywhere on the court, not only offensively, defensively. I thought Indiana threw away the match last night, although I give OKC credit down the stretch. They made some tough baskets, getting contact, going to the free throw line. Refereeing, calls could go both ways, on both sides, so you can't even look at that. But I think OKC knew that if they went down 3-1, that would be it.
Yeah.
So 2-all, where see it now?
can't go anywhere.
I see going game 7. And I don't see,
So you basically say
I see
game
game
7.
7 and I don't see Indiana winning on the road in OKC. Just like how Denver got blown out in that.
Sometimes
game
I think NBA is just set up for TV, you know.
Like wrestling.
Yeah, sometimes that way,
Wrestling,
yeah.
But last night, I thought Indiana didn't play well down the stretch, and
Coaches.
Pascal Siakam should have been on the court more. And I thought that's where they lost the game. Because Pascal Siakam, to me, is there.
The go-to.
When they need a bucket, he's the one that they should look for. And I think that they were
Isn't
playing
he-
too much to Tyrese Halliburton, trying to make threes. Driving to the rim. He's more of a facilitator. And then, if needs be, he makes a shot.
So is it
Pascal
possible-
Siakam wasn't on the court. I can't understand, although, Obi Toppin was playing, fabulous off the bench. Miles Turner shooting trees short of the rim. But Pascal Siakam should have been on the court.
Driving to the rim, trying to
the
pull
rim,
that.
trying to get to the free throw line, just like what
Shea.
Shea did. But 2-all, better for TV, as Peter said, this thing look like it geared up for TV.
Yeah.
I see
You get
OKC
one, I get one, and
I
then we
see
play a
OKC
match game 7.
winning game 5. I see Indiana winning game 6, and in game 7,
That's up.
perfect for TV. I
We
wouldn't
know
see
for
that
NBA,
that's up.
yeah.
I see OKC winning in 7. No. I had OKC winning 4-1, so now, right now, it's even better for TV.
I think this championship is going on to coach's decision. They are making some.
And even last night, we saw where OKC changed back to their regular starting lineup, having Isaiah Hartenstein starting the game, which to me should have been the case from game 1. So the coach, to me, was
Coach's
scrambling.
decision.
So Reggae Boys play twice next week, right?
16th, the 20th, and the 24th. Yeah.
Right.
Next week,
So the first game is
the 16th,
against?
Guatemala.
Again,
Yeah,
in the USA.
in California.
Okay.
20th versus Guadeloupe and the 24th against Panama.
Why when we're playing in the United States, they always seem to carry the games to the West Coast, where the Spanish people. I know it's economical.
So what's wrong with that, Froggy?
Why not the East Coast?
So you think the US is like they sit together and said, this is where we're going to send the match?
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. Two things are normally do.
Americans,
If we're playing against the United States,
Yes.
them send it to some coal.
Yeah, of course.
I say if we're playing these big tournaments, it's the West Coast.
You don't think the venues are decided long before there are other draws?
No.
You say think they said Jamaica, send them to the call.
Very possibly. Yeah.
Yes.
No, when we're playing United States, though,
It send us to the call.
I
If
see.
we're playing these
Purposely
tournaments,
do
it's the
that,
West Coast, but I guess they're saying that because
They have options.
the Club World Cup going on now,
Yeah.
Club World Cup is for the East Coast.
So there is like a group of people who get together and say, this is what we're going to do. So screw Jamaica.
Screw the whole Caribbean.
Yeah.
Anyone playing against the West, we send them to the cold. They can't send us to the West Coast. They can't carry the game to Florida. Dead.
Them dead in Florida. But
Or New York. New York. Where's this guy?
Send us to the cold water.
Hey, we come to the end of another exciting show. I mean, we covered a lot. I mean, we have a lot to look forward for. Again, we have Jamaica play again twice this week. I mean, a lot of football around the corner, and I hope so. The Reggae Boys and the whole Jamaican outfit, because we need to qualify for this World Cup.
Yeah, we don't deviate to this.
and congratulations to the coach. He gets to keep his job for at least for the next tournament. Yeah.
So we have that to look forward to. And I mean, track and field later on.
Yeah, national trials.
National trials when it comes.
Your alma mater leading prep champs.
Peter and Paul?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I didn't even recognize that. I mean, table tennis, Caribbean Senior Championships in Barbados.
Again, so next time we see you, you'll actually be representing Jamaica in Barbados.
Yeah.
I'm always representing Jamaica, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't have too much flying fish and cuckoo while you're there. You've never had it. You never
I've
had
had it
it.
before.
It's horrible.
Last time I was in Barbados was 2007. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. And again, next
So you need to remind them who is king.
Yeah, definitely. The king is back.
Well, good luck with that.
To discuss the Club World Cup, which is going on now.
I mean, next week we'll have a rundown of that. And so we have a lot of football to talk about next week. NBA for sure.
I think cricket is
Wrapping up
next
for
month.
Week. End of month is the track and field trials. So, I mean, you can call it summer is hot. Summer is definitely hot. So, people, thanks again. I mean, to our listeners out there.
Fit FM, World Wide Web, Primal 4K app, Facebook, YouTube. We all know it. You all know it go. Every Saturday, right here, same time, same place. Primal Sports Center.
Have a peaceful weekend, people, and see you.
Out.